Alamin ang mga maiinit na balita sa mundo ng palakasan. Power and Play, kasama niyo ako, Noli Iyala, tuwing Sabado mula alas 8 hanggang alas 10 ng umaga sa Radyo 5, 92.3 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
25,000 watts ng totoong tunog ng FM radio.
Totoong pinalakas, totoong pinagtibay ng mga batikang mamamahayag sa paghahatid ng news,
Public service,
entertainment,
music,
information at inspiration para sa bawat kapatid, bawat Pilipino. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Mainit at makabuluhang talakayan tungkol sa sports, kumpleto yan dito sa Power and Play. Mula sa mga paborito at naglalakihang atleta hanggang sa mga natatanging Pinoy sports figures na dapat nyong makilala. Ihahatid yan dito sa Power and Play.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino.
Yan ang Pinoy.
Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Sa likod ng mga tagumpay, hinagpis at kontrobersiya muling bumabalot sa Team Philippines sa Southeast Asian Games. Ika nga ni Gary Valenciano, di na natuto. Pag-usapan po natin ngayong umaga yan dito po sa inyong paboritong kasalo sa almusal. Di paano, bangon na, Power and Play na. Power and Play with Noli Iyala. Isa pong magandang umaga sa inyo lahat mga kapatid. Mayong buntag kaninyo tanan, naimbag nga bigat kada kayo amin sa lahat po ng ating mga suki sa buong Pilipinas. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum, Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive. Chooks to go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan at true religion where passion meets power. And of course, we are powered by smart. Live smart. Ako po si Noli Iyala at muling bumabati sa inyo mula sa TV5 Media Center dito po sa 1PH Studios. Nako, alam nyo po, kanina ating tinitingnan ang ating mga balita. Talaga namang nakakatuwa na napakarami pong mga atleta natin ang nagbibigay ng karangalan na tagumpay sa ating bansa. Pero patuloy na binabalot ng hinagpis at paghihirap ang ating mga atleta. Hindi lang po dahil sa kanilang mga nakakalaban. At kung hindi po dun sa ika nga maaaring hindi napansin o hindi napaghandaan ng ating mga opisyales na mga patakarang hindi naman siguro po ay patas. At mga pinaglalaruan na hindi po ay standard o below standards ng dapat na paglaruan ng ating mga atleta. Kawawa po no? Kawawa po ang ating mga atleta. Hindi po natin sila masisisi kung sila po ay nagrereklamo at dumadaing sapagkat napakahirap ng kanilang pinagdaanan. Tapos ihaharap lamang natin sila sa mga player na hindi natin po, hindi naman po taga rito sa ating rehiyon dahil sa rules na dapat ay tinutulan ng ating pong mga opisyalis ng sports. Tapos maglalaro sila sa mga lugar na ika nga ay panganib sa kanilang kalusugan at sa kanila pong paglalaro. Kaya po atin pong pag-uusapan ngayong umagang itong mga topic pong mga ito ha. Mamaya po ating makakasama sa likod po ng matinding balita na natalo po ang Gilas Pilipinas sa Cambodia. Ating po makakapanaya mamaya ang team manager ng Gilas Pilipinas at Deputy Executive Director ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, si Mr. Butch live mula sa Cambodia. Titingnan po natin kung ano pong mood ng Gilas at kung ano po ang mga plano sa mga susunod na laro. At hindi po makakausap mamaya naman sa isang magandang balita, yung pong nagginto sa gymnastics, ang ating bagong bayani sa larangan ng gymnastics, si John Ivan Cruz. And mamaya po, maiba naman tayo, ang bagong hirang na head coach ng Meralco Bolts, si Luigi Trillo. Si Coach Luigi will be here in the studio live sa ating pong interview sa kanya. Naku, napakarami po nating pag-uusapan and of course sana po lahat kayo ay nasa mabuting kalagayan. By the way, gusto ko lang magbigay ng isang malaking shoutout sa lahat ng mga tiga Lubao at Florida Blanca, Pampanga. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Well, this is our Happy Mother's Day edition. So Happy Mother's Day in advance sa lahat po ng mga ina ng ating mga pamilya, lalong-lalo na po sa aking nanay at sa kay Mami Ann at of course sa ating pong pinakamamahal na ina ng aking anak si Irene. Magandang happy morning and of course Happy Mother's Day sa inyong lahat. We begin of course with the news of the week sa pamamagitan ng ating sports weekly highlights.
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala.
Mismong si SBP Chairman Emeritus Manny V. Pangilinan ay nadismaya sa pagkatalo ng Gilas Pilipinas kontra Cambodia sa men's basketball tournament ng SEA Games. In full effect ang kontrobersyal na naturalized players lineup ng host country. Umabot pa sa hanggang 21 ang tambak hanggang sa matapos ang laro sa score na 79-68. Nakaapekto raw sa performance ng national team ang matinding init at hindi magandang kondisyon ng playing arena. Punta naman tayo sa good news. 31 na ang gold medals ng Pilipinas. Aba, kita nyo naman. Pakita natin ang ating tally. Yan po ang ating tally sa kasalukuyan. Ang Vietnam pa rin ang nangunguna, kasunod po ang Thailand at ang Pilipinas ay may 31 gold medals sa ranggong numero 6 sa 31, 56 and 73 medals. Ilan sa mga batikan na nating atleta ang nakaginto ulit sa SEA Games itong nagdaang linggo. Kasama dyan sina EJ Obiena ng pole vault, Eric Cray sa 400-meter hurdles, Carlos Yulo ng gymnastics, Agatha Wong sa wushu, Kim Mangroban sa duathlon at si Annie Ramirez ng jiu-jitsu. Nag-gold din ang soft tennis players ng Pinas, maging ang ilang swimmers. Laban lang Pilipinas as we continue our campaign in the Southeast Asian Games sa Cambodia. Sa volleyball naman, pasok na sa semis ang women's squad at inaasahang makakaharap nila ang powerhouse na Thailand. Sa panalo ng Singapore pa lang naglaro si The Phenom, Alyssa Valdez at limitado lang ang minuto niya. Ayon kay Coach Jorge De Brito, sinusubukan nilang ibalik sa kondisyon ang team captain na ilang buwan di nakalaro dahil sa knee injury. Segue naman tayo sa UAAP Volleyball. One win away na lamang ang Lasal Lady Spikers para muling mamayagpag sa women's volleyball. Pukpukan na naging laban sa nakaraang game 1 kontra defending champions NU Lady Bulldogs na umabot sa 5th set. Buhay pa naman ang Lady Bulldogs na may tsansang i-extend ang serye sa win or go home Game 3 bukas. Mapapanood yan live sa One Sports at One Sports Plus. At sa NBA, may pasok na sa Conference Finals. Nilaglag ng top-seeded Denver Nuggets ang Phoenix Suns sa likod ng masterful Game 6, 125-100 win. Walang nakapigil kay Nikola Jokic na nagtala na naman ng triple-double numbers na 32 points, 12 assists at 10 rebounds. Hinihintay ngayon ng Nuggets ang mananalo sa Warriors-Lakers series. Isang panalo na lang ang LA at ngayong umaga na po ang Game 6 sa Crypto.com Arena. At yan po ang buod ng ating mga balita sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Naku, kung inaabangan nyo po yung NBA, ang NBA po ay naglalaro na yung ating Game 6 din ng New York kontra Miami Heat. Kung saan, doon po sa mga mahilig sa NBA, nasa first quarter at lumalamang po ang New York laban sa Miami Heat doon po mismo sa Miami. Lamang po ang Miami dito sa series ito at kung mananalo ang New York ay may extend po ito sa Game 7. Naku, napakaganda. Mamaya po Warriors-Lakers Game 6 at panoorin po niyan. Pinag-uusapan natin kanina ang mga kontrobersiya na bumabalot sa Southeast Asian Games. Alam niyo po ang isa dyan ay yung tinatawag na naturalization rule ng Cambodia. Dito po sa rule nito kahit na sino po ay pwedeng i-naturalize at maglaro. Again, ang aking pong sinasabi tungkol dito ay kung ito po ang rule at ito po ang patakaran, wala lang po tayong magagawa. Ang kailangan na lang po sana natin gawin ay ating pong inavail itong rule na to. Dapat po ito po ay nung simula pa tinutulan na. Pero kung yan po ay pumasa sa Southeast Asian Games Federation, wala na po tayong magagawa. Kaya po, ngayon tayo tinatalo ng 6 na mga Amerikanong G-Leaguers sa Cambodia, wag po tayong magreklamo sapagkat meron ho tayong pagkakataon sanang tablahin yan. Pero siguro po, yung iba sinasabi national pride daw, yung iba sinasabi overconfidence. Ano kaya kung nagdagdag tayo ng naturalized players? Kaya po ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong umagang ito ay patungkol po dyan. Hindi lamang po tungkol sa basketball dahil may mga naturalized players din po ang ibang bansa sa ibang sports dyan po sa Southeast Asian Games. Kaya po ang tanong, sa Pulso ng Bayan, hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Sa likod po ng rules sa Cambodia, dapat bang nagpasok pa ang Philippine team ng karagdagang naturalized players para sa SEA Games? Ulitin po natin yan Sa likod po ng rules dyan po sa ginaganap na laro sa Cambodia, dapat bang nagpasok pa ang Philippine team sa iba't ibang sports ng karagdagang naturalized players para sa SEA Games? Mamaya po babasahin natin ang inyong pong mga kuro-kuro. Again, ito po ay hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. I'm sure sa Twitter account po natin nababasa ko na yung iba't ibang mga komentaryo. Alright, bago po tayo magpasok ng ating unang mga bisita, again, isa pong paalala mula sa ating mga kaibigan sa Joyride Super App. Nagbabalik po ang Joyride Top Up promo sa Power and Play. Simpleng-simple lamang po ang mechanics ng ating promo. I-download lamang ang latest version ng Joyride Super App. Yan po ang QR code. Pwede nyo pong iscan yan. Kuhanan ng screenshot ng app's home screen. Yung pong account name nyo ay dapat lumabas. Ipadala ang screenshot sa Power and Play Facebook page via private message. Isama nyo po ang inyong buong pangalan, registered mobile number sa inyong Joyride account. At kami po ay magbibigay ng 1,000 pesos JRPay wallet credits, e-wallet credits, dun sa mga lucky winners mamaya po na aming babasahin sa kaduluduluhan ng show. Ulit, ito po ay ang Joyride Super App Top Up promo sa Power and Play. Alright, I think we are just about ready to begin sa ating pong huntahan sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado. Unahin na natin ang ating paboritong Fast Take.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
At ang Fast Take ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive. And this morning, mga balik Fast Takers. Medyo matagal-tagal kong hindi nakausap itong mga to. Pero nagbabalik po sila ngayon. Ang ating mga kaibigang veteran sports writers, columnists, si Bill Velasco at si Homer Saison from Chicago. Bill, magandang umaga. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Magandang umaga, Commissioner. Anytime po, basta narito tayo.
And of course, Homer, good to see you again from Chicago. Magandang umaga.
Good morning, Com. Good morning, Bill. And good morning to your listeners at Power and Play. So excited, Com. I couldn't sleep last night.
Alam ko, nabasa ko nga yung tweet mo. Alright, let's begin with you then. Pero bago tayo pag-usapan natin yung mga maiinit na issue, which I obviously will touch on some of the things that you've written. You've also written about yung controversial decision ng PBA sa Converge board member na si Governor Dennis Pineda na hindi siya pinayagang umupo dahil sa rasong siya ay magiging mapupoliticize ang board. Homer, what is the latest and sa tingin mo ba tama ito?
No, it's the reason the PBA gave to Converge is at best hypocritical. In the height of the bubble, at the height of the pandemic, na wala silang, no city would accommodate them, no province would accommodate them. They were bleeding financially and they needed to get their act going and, get TV money. Who did they approach? They approached a politician to have them, sponsor and, allow them to do a bubble in Pampanga. And now, it seems like the act of kindness has not been reciprocated kasi now they're using the politics. Like, ayaw namin na ma-politicize ang PBA. But if you remember, Mr. Alvarez of Terra Firma used to be in Congress, and I think he still is. And then you have Coach Luigi was vice governor when he coached. And Mikey Romero was in Congress when he was involved in Northport. And why is Delta Pineda being singled out? I have a column that will come out tomorrow, Commissioner, a follow-up column. I actually spoke to Governor Pineda the other night. And while he respects the decision of the PBA board, ang isa lang hinanakit niya is why is it na, there's no, the vote doesn't seem to be transparent. Diba, like here in the, like you, Commissioner, kung may votation, like a council or a business, dapat isabi, sinong in favor, sino dito. The PBA did not do that. They just said collectively decided. What does that mean, collectively decided?
All right.
So the PBA is afraid. So yun lang. Hypocrite yung PBA board.
Bill, you've been covering the PBA. You were part of the broadcast panel, of course, and marami na tayong pinagdaanan dyan. I remember there was a time sa Red Bull, there was another governor, George Balagtas, the late George Balagtas. He was also not allowed to sit by the PBA board. In fact, mukhang kinontra yun. And that is a precedent. Hindi ko alam kung alam niya ng mga board members ng PBA. But again, it does not mean that it should be followed dahil in the case of Governor Pineda, mukhang this guy is involved in sports, in basketball, even before he became a politician. Bill, your take on this?
Well, I agree to a certain extent with what Homer is saying, but more deeply than that, why not? What do you mean by saying that the PBA will be politicized? Politics is in everything. There's politics in the PBA when every time a new team or new franchise wants to enter the league, there's votation against that, and there have been times that they were not allowed to come in. And so that's a question of competition, which is also politics because you have the numbers, di ba? Kung sinong nakararami, sila yung nakakalamang sa botohan. Ang tanong lang talaga dyan is, linawin natin, ano ba ang nandoon kay governor na hindi angkop sa PBA or hindi karapat-dapat o ayaw ng PBA? Is it something that can be addressed? Is it something that can be remedied or compromised? Dahil ang sinagot naman ng Converge dyan is hindi namin siya papalitan kasi siya ang gusto naming maging board governor. Kaya medyo and these are not ordinary people that the PBA is also dealing with. Kaya may sinasabi din itong mga taong to. Kaya masalimuot yung issue na yan na sa tingin ko dapat maayos yan lalong madaling panahon because Converge is very serious as a franchise and as a team. They're going to be very competitive in the next couple of years.
Yes, and of course, sayang because bihira tayo makakita ng independent team na ganyang ka-involved, ganyang ka-seryoso sa kampanya. And I think this is gonna be something that the PBA must address quickly and must address properly. Let me go to another topic now, Bill. You wrote about the naturalized issue, overkill, you mentioned, in the Southeast Asian Games. And obviously, that is the hot topic na pinag-usapan ng lahat na, again, if it is the rule, it is the rule. But ang tanong ko dyan is, you talked about politics in sports. Sa tingin mo ba, ito ay pinayagan na lamang ng ganyan-ganyan? Bakit napunta tayo dito sa puntong ito, Bill? What do you think happened and what should have been done by our sports officials?
Well, unang-una, napakahabang kwento niyan. Kung babalikan natin yung kasaysayan ng Southeast Asian Games, ay ginagawa na lang itong
1 minute lang.
Balikan natin yung Southeast Asian Games, ginagawa na lang playground dito ng host country. No? Even in other bigger international competitions, to a certain degree, the host country is allowed to limit participation, add some sports, take out some sports for whatever reason. Pero ito kasi napakasaklap nito dahil inabuso nila yung naturalization rules. No? Sa kanila, basta may passport ka, Cambodian ka. Walang nakalagay dyan kung kailan mo nakuha yung passport. Pwedeng nakuha mo yung passport ngayon, bukas na yung laban.
Grabe.
Okay sa kanila yon. Ngayon sa FIBA, you have to be no older than 16 when you declare which country you're really going to play for. Kaya may problema kay Jordan Clarkson, kila Christian Standhardinger, Stanley Pringle, these other players. Ang problema lang is medyo abusado na dahil sa sangkatutak naman ang nilagay nila, isang platoon naman ang nilagay nila sa kanilang basketball team. But historically, this has been done time and time again. The 1984 Olympics, Zola Bad, bawal ang South Africa sa Olympics dahil sa apartheid, ginawa siyang UK citizen. Na-disgrasya naman niya si Mary Decker doon sa 3,000 meter run, pareho silang natalon. Injured pa si Mary Decker who was the world champion at the time. Even in the US, they've done that. I covered the 1996 Olympics and I was surprised that Hakeem Olajuwon was part of the team.
That's right.
Yung pala, binigyan siya ng exemption ng FIBA. He became a naturalized citizen in 1993. Pero sa kwenta ko, dapat September pa siya magiging US citizen na formal or makakapaglaro. July pa lang yun, binigyan na siya ng exemption ng FIBA, nakapaglaro siya. So it's been done time and time again. Ang tanong lang, gagawin ba ng SEA Games Federation ng limitasyon? Sa tingin ko hindi dahil yung mga nagiging host country, naghihintay lang na, kami naman ang hahakot ng maraming medalya. Kung gano'n na lang, bumili na lang kayo ng medalya. Huwag na lang kayo magpalaro kung lokohan lang naman ang mangyayari.
Well, Homer, just very quickly on this matter then. Tayo ba natutulog sa pansitan dito? Lalong-lalo na dito sa basketball. Sapagkat nakita naman natin ang ating nakalaban, Homer. We faced 5-6 naturalized players in Cambodia na hindi naman mukhang super galing. Hindi naman ito mga top-notch players and yet parang nagulat at ginawa na lamang natin itong naging rason para tayo matalo. What do you think, Homer? Natulog ba tayo sa pansitan dito?
Yes, because we knew by January that the rules are gonna be, it's their house, their rules. And we were one of the countries who voted to agree on such changes about naturalization. The problem was we didn't seem to do anything. Oh no, we did not do anything. Yeah, tingnan mo, Commissioner, we cannot even put people together for practice on Mondays. There were 2 practices that were canceled. So it just speaks of the lack of preparation. And it's just, now you can't cry foul now. And what is perplexing to me is that while the 5-on-5 team, the Gilas 5-on-5 said, we were aware. But the Gilas 3-on-3 team, they didn't seem to be aware na magagamit ng naturalized players. So apparently the left hand is not talking to the right hand here, and the fault goes to the coaching staff.
Mamaya makakausap natin si Butch Antonio. Just to clarify this matter, of course, the MVP has already talked, and again in his tweet, and I quote, "What a disgraceful game for Gilas, an ignominious defeat which will be etched deeply in infamy." SBP, what happened? Can you imagine the chairman emeritus does not even know about this rule? So again, we will find out later on from the SBP. Let's go to our fast take issues of the morning. Gentlemen, alam nyo na ang drill. Bato-bato sa langit. Ang dami ng tinamaan kanina. Huwag sila magagalit. And of course, walang tama, walang mali. Ang opinion lamang ninyo ang mahalaga. We begin with the first issue, just a light issue here. Sa mga naiiwang mga teams, ika nga, sa NBA playoffs. Naku, maganda to. Pag-usapan natin ng NBA, ba? Sino sa naiiwang teams ang sa tingin ninyo ang mananalo ng NBA title ngayong taon? I'll begin with you, Bill. 1 minute. Go!
Okay, unang-una sa lahat, kinakabahan ako sa Boston dahil nasa kanila naman ang materyales pero madalas dinadaga sila eh. You know, you've seen the past games. Jason Tatum will shoot terribly tapos mabubuhay na lang sa fourth quarter. So I'm really worried about Boston and frankly, sa tingin ko sa susunod na mga pagkakataon, madidisgrasya yan. And on the other side of the fence, naguguluhan din naman ako doon sa Miami, New York dahil sa tingin ko naman mas balansyado ang Miami when you look at the numbers. But New York seems to have an outstanding drive pero iilan lang ang gumagana sa kanila. Personally, my thinking here is Miami could possibly barge into the NBA Finals. Sa West naman, LA, it is for them to lose the series. You know, they've already proven you know what they can do against Golden State. Golden State is starting to look like a one-trick pony na pag hindi makatira sa labas, hindi naman nanalo. Anthony Davis will be the key here, both his offense and his defense. If he's 100%, the Lakers will win. Tingin ko, it will be most likely Miami in the East and the Lakers in the West. And if that happens, I think the Lakers are going to win it.
Wow! That's a big take, Bill. That's a big take. Both are play-in teams. Wow! Homer, same issue. Sino sa naiiwang teams ang tingin mo mananalo ng NBA title this season? 1 minute, Homer. Go!
I agree with Bill. Miami Heat on the East. I just like the dog and the equal balance, the coaching of the Heat. And also, even if the Celtics come out against the Sixers, which is a very big if, Commissioner, Miami had beaten them in the bubble. They have their number and they know how to defend. Kasi ang big ng Miami, Boston is only Robert Williams and Grant Williams, and I think Adebayo can handle that on his own. On the West, I tend to disagree. The Lakers will not win the West. I think they will be beaten by the Golden State Warriors tonight and will not even make the conference finals. I think it's going to be Denver. And between the Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors, I pick the Denver Nuggets, Commissioner. They're a very complete team. Kita mo naman kagabi, they laid 81 points on the road against the Phoenix Suns. People don't know this. Number 3 ang Denver. Besides their 2 stars, Jamal and Jokic, or Jokic averaging triple-double, they are number 3 in the league in 3-point shots allowed. And they're a very good closeout team. They rebound well and they defend. Coach nila magaling, very underrated. Has been a coach since 1993, anak ni Brendan Malone. He had been a coach in the NBA since 2001. And that's all you need, the components. 2 stars, defense, rebounding, and a good coach. Plus home court advantage. Stuff to beat the Denver Nuggets. As a matter of fact, Commissioner, I'm already ready. I bought the bandwagon, Commissioner. Denver.
Marami nagtatanong, meron bang fans ng Denver? Yun, nakahanap po tayo. Let me just put my take. Ako, alam nyo naman my team. I am, of course, daunting statistics against Boston. Philly is 17-32 in series clinching games. Doc Rivers is 7-9 in Game 7 games. Ooh. Boston is 8-1 in Game 7s in their history. Pero ako, I'm a Sixer fan. I believe if the Harden that we know can come out, will come out. I think Philly will go all the way. They'll play Denver, I think, in the finals. All right, let's go to our second issue of the morning. Balikan natin ang Southeast Asian Games at ang basketball mismo, kung saan dapat ang Pilipinas ay naghahari at matagal nang naghari sa larong ito. Kaya ang tanong po natin, inabutan na ba ng ASEAN countries ang Pilipinas sa basketball o overconfident lamang tayo? 1 minute, Homer. Go!
A little bit of both, Commissioner. As we can see, we were so unprepared against Cambodia. Iyak tayo sa antics ng coach. But if we really did our research, this coach was allegedly fired in his Jordan team, the Orthodox, just this year for the same antics. So if we know, if we research him, Gilas could have prepared, like what sets does he like to run, what kind of defense does he run, all the stuff. So unprepared tayo. The second thing, itong mga mixed blood and mixed heritage as allowed also, just like us. May Jordan Clarkson tayo, mga Pringle tayo. Thailand, for instance, has Tyler Lam. And Thailand doesn't have a naturalized player commissioner, but they all have half blood. So magaling din ang Thailand. And because of that, parang naaabutan na rin tayo. And the numbers don't lie. We lost last year, for God's sakes. And then I just spoke on the phone with Tab Baldwin. He's here in the US for a recruiting trip. And he said, Homer, Cambodia was very good, but man, Indonesia is even tougher. So Gilas really has its work cut out for them.
Exactly.
So a little bit of both. Lack of preparedness, and then, the other teams trying to get at us.
Well, I share your views. Of course, I share Tab. Indonesia will be a very, very strong opponent. Bill, kahapon natalo nga tayo ang women's team natin natalo against Indonesia. So again, ang tanong, inabutan na ba ng ibang ASEAN countries ang Pilipinas sa basketball o masyado lang tayong overconfident? 1 minute, Bill. Go.
Sa tingin ko, Commissioner, it's two factors. No? Unang-una, hindi sa inabutan tayo, it's an artificial patch job yung paglalagay natin ng mga naturalized players dahil wala nga limitasyon and FIBA is not really involved in the Southeast Asian Games. So that's artificial. They are coming closer and closer to us. But I think all things being equal, if we use pure nationals, mananalo pa rin ang Pilipinas. On the other hand, ang masakit dito, it looks like hindi natin masyadong sinaliksik yung mga makakalaban natin dahil para tayong nagugulat. Nagulat tayo doon sa pinaglalaruan, nagulat tayo doon sa mga kalaban natin. Kaya sa tingin ko, yung scouting, yung research, yun ang talagang pagkukulang natin. It happened also in Indonesia. Lalo na ngayon, you have, Indonesia will be playing Lester Prosper, I believe, and he played as an import here in the Philippines. So he knows the Philippine brand of basketball very well. Mas kinakabahan ako actually sa Indonesia. Kasi yung Cambodia, pag nawala na yung mga yon, lalampasuhin na naman natin sila eh. But in higher level competitions, those guys will not be there. So for me, it's an artificial patch job.
All right. Well, again, dahil most probably we'll rank second, ang talaga makakatapat natin sa crossover is Indonesia. And that's gonna be important. Dahil kung matalo tayo doon, baka wala pa tayong medal. All right, let's go to our third and final issue of the morning. Ito po ay patungkol sa mga sinasabi ng ibang sports officials na pagkalaki-laki ang ginagastos ng Pilipinas dyan sa Southeast Asian Games. We have sent one of our biggest delegations in history and yet we are ranking 6th, probably 7th. We could even fall as low as 7th in the SEA Games dahil sa paiba-ibang rules ng host country. So ang tanong, sa malinaw na pag-manipulate ng rules ng mga host countries sa SEA Games, para paboran sila, panahon na ba na di na sumali ang Pilipinas sa biennial meet? I'll begin with you, Bill. 1 minute, go.
Ako sa tingin ko, hindi sa ganun eh. Tingin ko, you have to change the system from inside. Tayo rin naman, ginagawa naman natin yon. If you look at the history of the Southeast Asian Games, may arnis lang naman pag nasa Pilipinas. But it should be a sport in all of the Southeast Asian countries. Tarong Derajat was a martial art introduced by Indonesia. Actually, ang kagandahan niyan, nananalo din naman tayo. Kunbukator, nakailang medalya na tayo doon. Other sports like cricket, na hindi mo inaasahan, naka-silver medal tayo thanks in large part to the domestic helpers from Hong Kong. Ang tingin ko dyan, there has to be a systemic change. Dapat pagkasunduan na ito yung rules, wag natin abusuhin. Ito yung numero na sport na pwede nating ipasok, wag natin abusuhin. Dahil 2005, nung nag-SEA Games dito sa Pilipinas, 2 medalya lang yung dance sport. Pagdating sa Thailand, naging 10 medalya, bawat sayaw may sarili ng gold medal. Yung ganon, dapat yun ang iwasan natin. And then the naturalization, there have to be agreements on the limitations, on the numbers of naturalized citizens. Kailangan pagkasunduan. Kung hindi mo pagkasunduan, tsaka na tayo umayaw.
Totally agree. I totally agree with that. All right, Homer, same issue. Sa malinaw na pag-manipulate ng rules ng mga host countries sa SEA Games, para paboran sila, panahon na ba na di na sumali ang Pilipinas sa biennial meet? Homer, 1 minute, go.
We should still stay, Commissioner. When the Southeast Asian Games was founded in 1958, it used to be called the Southeast Asian Peninsular Games. The rationale was that it would promote cooperation, good relationships, and camaraderie among Southeast Asian nations. And I think those tenets still hold true today. Kagaya pa ng nagugot, some of the people just don't wake up 7 in the morning just to go, but business deals are made in there. Same thing in the Southeast Asian Games. We develop relationships with Cambodia, our Asian neighbors, And not only that, these events, as much as we like this edition, Commissioner, it also provides an avenue for pocket tournaments na yung mga athletes natin, like preparing for the Asian Games, you can still play the Southeast Asian Game, parang practice. And those are important too. You know, it reminds you of that old saying, you don't have to burn the house down to kill a rat. So every 2 years lang naman to, and I agree with Bill, as long as there are caps on those naturalized players, and one event should not be bloated in a way na magiging 10 medalya the same event. And those are the things that the federation should agree upon. But getting out of the SEA Games is out of the question. We have to participate, Commissioner.
Absolutely, and that's why it is a a wake-up call to all of our sports officials. Knock-knock sa ating chef de mission, si Chito Loizaga. Ano bang ginawa natin dyan? And of course to the POC and the PSC. Sana po ay ayusin natin dahil in the end, ang kawawa ang ating mga atleta. Hindi naman po mga opisyales ang mga atleta na naghahanda. Tapos sila po ay ma-ambush dahil sa hindi nila alam na mga patakaran. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. Malapit na. Lamang na lang ang 3 puntos sa New York Knicks. Homer, thank you so much. Bill, thank you so much. We'll see you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Bill. Thank
Yes,
you. Same here. Have a good show, Commissioner.
Thank you. Mga kasama po natin si Bill Velasco at si Homer Sison. Again, interesting morning just talking to the two of them. Sana mas marami pa tayong oras. Alright, bago po tayo mag-break, isa muna pong paalala mula sa ating mga kaibigan sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network, one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart! Sa amin pong pagbabalik live in the studio, walang iba kundi ang bagong hirang na head coach ng Meralco Bolts, Coach Luigi Trillo. Ito po ang Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go at ng True Religion. Ang oras po natin, 8:37 ng umaga.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice. Naswak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to Go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
It's a true summer sa Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Kumbidado po ang lahat at tara na sa isla dahil sa darating na May 16, 2023, dadayo po ang Alagang Kapatid Foundation at DOH Calabarzon sa Polillo Group of Islands para sa Project Isla, a blood donation drive in Polillo and Bordeos, Quezon Province. Gaganapin ang simultaneous blood donation drive sa dalawang lugar. Una, sa Polillo Multipurpose Center, Polillo, Quezon. At ikalawa, sa Municipal Plaza sa bayan naman ng Bordeos, Quezon pa rin. Pumunta lamang po sa nasabing mga venues sa ganap na 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Makiisa sa Project Isla, an inter-island effort at saving lives through mobile blood donation. Be a donor, be a hero. See you on May 16, 2023.
Alagang kapatid.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Bakit Wonder Nanay ang nanay mo?
Ako po si Grace, taga San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. Ang mama ko kasi siya na tumayong nanay at tatay naming magkakapatid. Napaka mapagmahal at supportive sa lahat ng bagay. Kaya isa siyang dakilang ina. Happy Mother's Day!
Ngayong Mother's Day and every day, mabuhay ang mga Wonder Nanay. Mula sa 92.3, Radyo 5, True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Tutukan gabi-gabi ang malalimang pagsisiyasat ng mga napapanahong balita. Hihimayin ang iba't ibang anggulo para sa mas malawak na diskusyon at impormasyon. Samahan sina Ed Lingao at Mian Los Baños mula sa Frontline tonight, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 10:35 p.m. sa TV5.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Broadcasting from the Radyo 5 studios in Reliance Street, Mandaluyong City, in Mega Manila. 25,000 watts of true broadcast quality. Mas pinalakas, mas pinalawak, mas pinalinaw na tunog ng AM sa FM. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Muli po nagbabalik ang Power and Play ngayong Sabado ng umaga, and we are very, very happy to have with us live in the studio. Walang iba kundi ang bagong appointed na head coach ng Meralco Bolts. Walang iba kundi si Coach Luigi Trillo. Coach Luigi, thank you so much for joining me this morning here.
Good morning, Coach. Always a pleasure. I miss you. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Congratulations, first of all, on your appointment. Wow, this is such an honor, for you to return as a head coach.
Thank you. I mean, fortunate. Commish, I've been doing this for a long time, 24 years, and last time I did it was 2013.
I know,
so
yeah.
Extremely excited for the opportunity.
Let me, before I get to your, the second, as they say, second time's a charm. You're going back as a head coach. Let me ask you first about Coach Norman. Obviously, Coach Norman and the Meralco Bolts had a very mutual parting of ways, and and he has, as the statement of Meralco put it, he has contributed so much to the team. So let me ask you, what do you think was the biggest contribution of Coach Norman to the Bolts?
Well, when we first got there, they never made the semifinals. I think if you look at the way the professionalism and the culture he's put in, we never made it. Since he's come in the past 9 years, 4 final appearances, 7 semifinals. I mean, just being consistent there. At mahirap yun, Komisha, if you think about it, to always make the semifinals. Out of the last 7 conferences. Think about this. That's 6 semifinals.
Right.
And they're capable teams. I'm not... You have a Converge that came in when they were with Alaska. You had Rain or Shine.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Magnolia. And to be consistently there, kahit nga yung mga nagcha-champion, they win, right? But sometimes they fall off the semi. So, we couldn't get it done all the way, but I don't think Coach Norman has anything to prove. I mean, you've worked with him for the longest time. We know what he's done for Philippine basketball. He's done it as a player. He's been a Grand Slam coach, and I think the way he's treated everybody, he's like a mentor to me also.
Right.
I've been with Coach Tim 14 years, but this 9 years he's taught me a lot, not only on the court. I mean, just watching the way he does things, just like you, they're decent people that know how to treat people.
So what will his role be now as a consultant, Coach Luigi?
Coach Nenad obviously will be the active consultant.
Correct.
And it's very different from probably talk and text where Jojo was really aggressive, right? He was the active guy. But I'm excited about it. I know Nenad has a good mind, and we'll be more working in tandem. We'll be working closely together. Obviously, Coach Norman will take a step back in this, but his insights will be there.
All right.
He still is a consultant.
All right.
So
That's good.
maybe the similar way, and just observing him in practice the past few days,
he's been there.
He's there.
Norman is still there.
He's there.
Oh,
He's there.
that's nice. That's
He'll
good to know. That's good.
he'll leave maybe I think in about 2 weeks just to attend. He couldn't finish some stuff in the US. Obviously his mother passed away, and he has to fix some things over there. But he'll be with us, and excited about it. But it's funny, I tease him nga because as a coach, sometimes that switch is turned on, right? And sometimes now I see him a little bit more relaxed a bit.
Yeah.
But his mind's always thinking how to improve. I mean, he's thinking out of the box of how we can improve the team.
I'm sure he'll be an asset to you. Let's talk about your second tour of duty as a head coach, Coach Luigi. You were, as you mentioned, you were a as head coach of Alaska. You won a championship with Alaska. You were a head coach for a month of Meralco, but now it's a full-time job for you as a head coach. What excites you the most on this particular tour?
I'm more experienced. I think you learn from things. I'm excited about these group of guys. I'm excited to work with Coach Nenad and Coach Norman as well. I think they're fantastic minds. I've always whenever I've been coach, I've always wanted to listen, and not only to our coaching staff, but the players as well, because sometimes they see things that honestly we don't see. And it's important to get everybody's opinion once in a while, right? And sometimes you see things differently, but I'm excited about this group. Obviously, that we're, in terms of balance on court, it's a group that's getting a little bit up there in terms of age, but the experience is there. We'd like to see what pieces we can add, to complete it in a way. We know we have 2 conferences moving forward, so that is in my mind. But yeah,
and that's what I want to ask you. You're still, Meralco is still looking for its first title in the PBA. Anong kulang? What is lacking with this team, you think, Coach? You've been with them for, 9 years? So what is lacking? When you observe this as an assistant and now as a head coach, what do you want to add? What's lacking with this team?
I think looking at it now, I think the experience is there. I think we have a lot of firepower. But I'd like to hopefully discuss with the coaching staff of how we can bring a little bit more energy. I mean, you look at the top teams, the teams that have won, right? Like even like Ginebra, you add a couple of pieces that bring the energy. Like you see the way Malonzo's changed it, right?
Yeah.
You see San Miguel where you add a guy like CJ Perez that brings that. So you have the vets there, but although we haven't won it all, we've been consistently there the past 6 years, 4 times. And I think when you look at that, you have to add something that probably we may need to improve. Cliff Hodge is our energy guy, but he's
right.
he's the past few him and Raymond, they're going up in age, and they're sometimes they average about close to 40 minutes a game.
Right.
So honestly, just looking at it, I think we're guard heavy.
Yeah.
And the import is going to be very crucial. Obviously, the All Filipinos, the most prestigious. I think we have balance, so we can build with this group. But I think that's important also, getting the right fit as an import.
You mentioned a couple of names kanina. You said about Scotty of Ginebra and of course CJ Perez of San Miguel. They are obviously the faces of their teams. In addition to Junmar, of course, for San Miguel. Who is the face of Meralco? Whose team is this, Coach Luigi?
Well, it used to be Newsome and Cliff Hodge, right? And now we have young guys going up like Aaron and Bong Quinto, right? But I'd like to think that it's at that stage where it's still being shared. It's obviously Chris Newsome is our vocal leader and he's our captain. Papa Ray Hugnatal will be joining us, part of our coaching staff.
So he's no longer playing?
He's no longer playing.
Okay.
This was a management decision, and he does his work well.
Wow.
He's professional, and he'll be helping our players out. But
fantastic.
I'm looking at it as obviously New, Cliff, Raymond, they're of age, but our young guys are coming eventually. It'll be handed to them as they get older, right? You've got Bong and AB, and I look at guys the way their work ethic, right? You can't go Maliksi, Nusam, Aaron. I think Aaron's improvement.
You have
is
even
all
Banquero. Banquero is even there.
CB also.
Yeah.
CB is also part of the older group, right?
Yeah.
But these are quality veterans. What I'm
Right.
saying, by the younger guys, I like the way the work ethic is put in. Like I see Aaron's development. They think that, okay, Coach Norman's his dad and he's getting special treatment. I beg to disagree. I see it every day. I see him.
He just works.
He works and he really does extra work. Right. And sometimes it's not seen on other things, but I hear things. I hear the trainers he's with. And when you have guys like that, it really improves your culture.
So talking about working, you're now working with Nenad Vucinic as an active consultant. Like in the likes of the past, Tab Baldwin, for instance, in the past. How are you going to divide the responsibilities and the roles? Have you talked about that with Nenad?
We have, in a way, and obviously there have been other coaches with consultants that. Obviously, there's one guy really manning it, right? Obviously, there has to be the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
And he has the active consultant role. But when we spoke, he said, Coach Luigi, you're going to have to be really visible and help me. And I think the thing that's nice here, he's also a type of coach that he's okay that I stand up and I talk. And I feel as a coach, I've always wanted my assistant coaches being vocal to the point that they're the guys, sometimes if I have to give the board, so be it, right? But I think this is something that I'm very excited about. I'm open-minded, and I don't mind if he's more vocal. This is not about who's talking more. The thing is,
or who takes the credit.
Yeah, it's about getting the job done. Right. And I've been all ears. In our first 3 practices, I've opened the door and I've told him, look, he's handled most of it, and I've obviously over my 24 years, I've learned a lot with Coach Tim, Coach Norman, and my own. But seeing Nenad, he brings a lot to the table,
right.
And I think that's a weapon we could use because, like anything, sometimes they say forewarned is forearmed. You know what's coming. You know how to deal with that. But I don't think people really know how Nenad is as a coach.
Right.
So having him teach us new things, and he's done it in the Philippine team. I've heard of times sometimes he's gone with Coach Aldin to the provinces and had some camps. So you can see generally he's a teacher. And I think to him what's more important rather than coaching in the games, which he will be, but it's really teaching in practice.
Well, what will change? And what do you think will change now in the system of Meralco with you and Coach Nenad at the helm? What will be different?
Well, we want to build on the significant thing that Coach Norman did, right? The contributions he has been immense, right? But one thing probably we'd like to focus on is, and it's still a work in progress because we've improved over the years, is maybe decision making. when we have that, and you're in certain situations, sometimes we feel that we could have gone to the next level, really, if some of our guys had better decision making. And this is things when you have counters. So you run a system, you're supposed to, you play to your strengths, but obviously they will take things away. And you have to have, obviously we're looking for intensity. Okay, that's at our first. But aside from that, we want the discipline and the focus.
Okay.
Meaning those three have to come hand in hand. And said it in practice, one of the teams that I very impressed with, they haven't won, but if you look at Converge in the Elims, they're spot on. They don't play like a professional team. It's more like a college team that they just come out and they play hard, and you feel them right from the start. If you play like a professional team and you're slow, they will jump at you. And when you look at the score, all of a sudden you're down 10-12.
Right.
So for me, the intensity has to be there. Okay, and this is also for Coach Nenad's belief. The discipline in terms of what you're doing and the focus. Because it's easy to have the, your intensity, but you don't have the focus and the discipline to follow through. And I think what we're trying to do here in practice is, although we have to make sure we don't overuse it, sometimes if you have too many practices that are high intensity, you can break in, right? And you want to be successful, not just one conference.
Right.
You want to be there all the time. So we have to draw that fine line where you're not pushing them too much, just enough over, not more than 2 hours, maybe a bit less. But you want to do drills, you want to do things where it's high intensity, but they're really sharp.
Right.
So and mind you, it's not just one. We have to hold everybody accountable. It's just not the first guy. You want to demand the same thing from the 15th guy, right? It's just like the coaching staff. It's just not Coach Nenad now and me. We want to hold everybody accountable that, hey, this is serious stuff.
Talking about accountability, you were a head coach of Meralco in July last year until August of last year, and you won a quarterfinal series against Ginebra. In that particular series, you were the head coach, Coach Luigi. Obviously, you were as an interim at that time, and now that you are a full-time head coach, is there more pressure?
Of course,
do you feel? Yes. Is it different? And of course, how have you changed in that sense?
I think there's more pressure when there's more responsibility, and I think when you're an assistant coach, there's not that much. You're being told what to do every day, but when you have more added responsibility, and it's a responsibility that Nenad and I have, of course, the dynamics change. Even the way you look changes in terms of what you bring, right? And we're coming in there. When I was there, it's an interim. You're just taking over, but this is different already. And I think when you look around the league at that time, we were also lucky because they didn't have any Brownlee yet. They didn't have Malonzo and Gray. So the thing for me, what we want to keep at par with the top teams is how do you improve your lineup?
Right.
And I wouldn't be talking with the way I really felt if I said we cannot beat those teams if we don't first fix the guys here inside and improve them and continue the good that Coach Norman had before. But you have to add pieces. And you're not talking about like 5-8 pieces, but you want to have good balance with what you have now. And I think the experience is there and stuff, but we have to tweak it a little bit in terms of maybe adding 1 or 2.
Well, that's my next question, because obviously, you will have to prepare the team for the upcoming season, which will start in October. There is a lot of time. In fact, a lot of teams maybe complaining about the length of time. But of course, there's going to be a PBA on tour. What are the plans of the Meralco Bolts, Coach Luigi, as you prepare for the 48th season?
I like that, we have to pivot and adjust to what's in front of us. Obviously, the preseason should happen right by the draft, so you can see the draft picks. But this is a year that's been different because of all the schedules of the national team and the other leagues, the international Asian leagues that we've been a part of. But what I look forward now is, this is what's in front of us, this is what's given. Let's make the most out of it.
Right.
And this is a good opportunity to give the guys who are in the team right now a chance to blend with what Coach Nenad is teaching, what the coaching staff is kind of there. And it's a good break-in season.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You have a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Are you bringing the team anywhere?
No, we'll start.
Okay.
League starts on the 21st. Our first game's on the 24th.
Okay.
Our last game though is on the July 28th. So from July 14 to 28, that's a little bit. We've had to sit down and try to find ways on how we can finish that, because if you think about it, we'll probably have 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to go on a month and a half, right? We would have liked it to finish on the 14th so we could really give them the time to rest. You know, when you go hard also, there has to be quality time where you balance it out.
Yeah.
And you have it all over the world, in the NBA and European leagues, where they need time to heal.
Right. Yeah,
So I'm also looking at that. I'm sure our coaching staff is looking at it, that our guys are older. So you have to look at that. We have maybe a couple of them are in the 20s, right? But when you push, you have to look at what you have, right? And I think if they were all in their 20s, you could push a bit more. They're all excited and stuff. But sometimes these guys, if you want them to last and you want them to be fresh, you have to be open-minded to also making sure,
to give them some rest and give them some. The conditioning is very important. What are you looking at from the draft in terms of how you manage the team now? Obviously, there are loopholes, there are holes that you need to plug. What are you looking at from the draft?
This draft, I think, is going to be, they say it's one of the deepest. We can't hide from that. I think everybody's excited. The interesting thing is some of the NCAA UAP players might be able to even join. So it's a double draft because the season will start before that draft.
Right.
So this is something of interest to us. We are 8th. So we do not control our destiny when it comes, kumbaga, picking the first 2 or 3, right?
Right.
I think this draft is deep enough that we'll be left with one super guard, right? A guard that we may not need, but if he's there, you have the option to, or we'll have a quality big. So it's that deep.
Right.
So it could go either way, and it swings in the pendulum in terms of, okay, Rain or Shine is 3rd and 4th. You have interesting picks after us. You have, I think it's going to be Northport, okay? Northport, NLEX, and Phoenix. So depending on the way those 3 will get, will be us, and then Converge picks 9 and 10th. And it's being interesting. I think any of those guys, we can fill a need we want.
Yeah.
Okay, or you add someone, you may be overstocked in a position, but I think he will fall because sometimes the bigs in any draft will be picked ahead, right?
Yeah.
Like you've seen guys like Jimmy Alapag and all these guys drop down to 10th because they're bigs that go ahead. And like any draft, unless you're really a special player, guard, it rarely happens, right? So
like a Mikey Williams and Scotty Thompson.
But we have our eye out, and we're fortunate. Last year we didn't have that. We're gonna have our first and our second pick in this draft.
Well, before I let you go, just a couple of questions here. The Coaches Challenge will be started in the PBA Tour, and obviously that's something that I talked to Coach Tim. He's very excited about that. Coach Chot, your thoughts on the Coaches Challenge and your concerns about it?
Yeah, I'm very excited for this because I think the audience will like to see, and the refs are human. Think about it. The refs are human. I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But the nice thing is, you can really correct it. It's like us in the game when we do bad as coaches. What did we do wrong defensively? We watch the film.
Yeah.
But the beauty of this is you'll have beautiful basketball because normally if a game is
and
done
they get
well,
it right. They get it right. Yeah.
They get it right.
Yeah.
And I think it makes the referee, it takes the pressure off the referees a bit because I'm human. I make a mistake. And I think we have to go to those times of improving the quality of play. And you always look for that. Does the 3-point line go farther? Do you do things? And I think having it, we were in the meeting and I kind of said, why don't we have 2? One in the first, one in the second. And, it's a meeting of the minds of the coaches and everybody there saying, look, if it doesn't work, we can always try to find out how. Is it 2 or 1, right? Another thing we were talking about there was when they are deciding and reviewing it, can we talk as coaches, right? So the room was half and half with that. But I said, let's respect what the people in the technical committee want. Let's do that. And they said, now we won't talk as coaches. So when they're reviewing, we cannot. I said, that's fine. And, let's explore. Anyway, after, if
it can always be
it's-
changed. It can always be
yes.
tweaked, yeah.
But excited that, for you to grow as a league, you always have to try to better yourself. And I think being open-minded to the way the world is changing and bringing this up, I think is great.
Well, as a parting shot, Coach Luigi, I know that you are a celebrated coach. You have won a title and you've felt that experience. What are your expectations with the Bolts this coming season? What is the goal for Meralco under your first year as head coach?
We're gonna demand a lot from them, most especially in practice. Work ethic is first to us. We're looking to continue the culture under what Coach Norman did. I think the one thing that people appreciated about us was we would always fight till the end. And I think that's one thing that you want to bring, right? So we want to continue the good that Coach Norman has done. There will always be high expectations. And I think when you aim high, you also get good results.
Right.
So this is not about, we're taking our time and we're gonna explore and it's a learning experience. We always want the best from us, and we can put that on the floor. So the way we do things, probably, hopefully, watching Coach Norman and Coach Nana, the way they do things, and our staff, it'll trickle down.
Well, at the end of the day, I know that Coach Nenad and Coach Norman will help, but it is really your demeanor, Coach Luigi, your calmness. I've always admired that. And, the way you put new ideas to the team, the way you motivate the team, I think that's going to be a key. I think Meralco is in good hands after Coach Norman, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Komish. It's always been a pleasure. I remember that time when we were in Guam and I was walking and you kindly brought me. I remember that. I had to buy something in, I think, Walter Mart or something, or one of the places there, and you helped me, and you were patient enough to wait for me. I said, he's a commissioner, and you gave us a lift home. So, but excited about that, and thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck to the Meralco Bolts. Mga kaibigan, Coach Luigi Trillo, ang head coach po ng Meralco. It is, it's going to be an exciting season for them this coming 48th season. Alright, when we come back from this break, bago tayo mag-break, isa muna pong pagsilip sa ating pop culture at viral videos sa mundo ng palakasan sa Stop and Pop.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Wala tayong video ngayong linggo pero may mga larawan tayo mula sa SEA Games na mapapasabin kayo ng yan ang pusong Pinoy. Tingnan niyo po ito. Ito po yung ating marathon runner, track athlete na si Edwin Giron. Nangunguna si Giron sa 800-meter race nang bigla lang siyang bumagsak dahil sa pulikat. Dali-daling pumunta ang medical team na may dalang stretcher para tulungan ang atleta, pero imbis na magpabuhat, tumayo si Edwin at pinagpatuloy ang karera hanggang matapos siya. Di man nanalo ng ginto, napatunayan naman ni Giron na walang kapantay ang kanyang determinasyon at puso ng Pilipino. Proud of you, kabayan! And yan at ang ating Stop and Pop. When we return, we will have the Southeast Asian Games gold medalist in gymnastics, John Ivan Cruz, in the house, or rather on Zoom. And of course, mamaya po makakasama rin natin si Butch Antonio ng SBP. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go, at ng True Religion. Ang oras po natin, 9:08 ng umaga.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
It's a true summer sa Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Bakit Wonder Nanay ang nanay mo?
Ako po si Jai ng Kawayan City, Isabela. Bukod sa mapagmahal, lagi niya kaming sinusuportahan sa anumang gusto namin. Hindi siya napapagod at patuloy na binibigay ang mga pangangailangan namin. Kaya mama, agyamanak, ay ayaten ka. Happy Mother's Day!
Ngayong Mother's Day and every day, mabuhay ang mga Wonder Nanay. Mula sa 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Ang first fun serye ng trending kilig duo, Gerald Napoles
Ngayon pa ba susuro ang PBA?
at Kim Molina.
Gusto ko lang naman ng simple at masayang birthday para sa anak na.
Ang pamilya ang bida sa pagmamahalan, ang bida rin sa katatawanan.
Hindi ko talaga makita kung ano nakita mo dito sa asawa mo!
2 minute to mention. Best Nainay.
Best Taytay! Best family ever!
Team A, tuwing Sabado, 9:30 p.m. Tutok na sa TV5.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Iba talaga ang ating nanay. Siya ang ating best friend, best teacher, ang ating first hug. Naging favorite din natin siyang girlfriend, ang tunay nating first love. Mama, ikaw talaga ang number 1.
Sus! May kailangan ka, no?
Ang ating one and only, tunay na Wonder Nanay. Para sa lahat ng ina na wagas magmahal at sa lahat ng bunga ng pagmamahal na yan.
Buti na lang kay Papa P kita pinaglihi.
Happy Mother's Day mula sa 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM.
25,000 watts ng totoong tunog ng FM radio.
Totoong pinalakas, totoong pinagtibay ng mga batikang mamamahayag sa paghahatid ng news,
Public service,
entertainment,
music,
information at inspiration para sa bawat kapatid, bawat Pilipino. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Muli po nagbabalik ang Power and Play, and of course gusto po natin magpasalamat sa lahat ng tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play this last 6 years. Gusto ko po magpasalamat sa ating mga sponsors. Unahin ko na po ang Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan, kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom, tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum.
Thank you!
Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro. How neat it is to have a 7-seater SUV that has a powerful engine, world-class safety standards, and the latest tech features. Bet you didn't know that the all-new Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro has all these features and more at a very affordable price range. Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro is equipped with a 1.6 turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine, an advanced driver assistance system, and 12 other safety features. including rear cross traffic assist, blind spot detection, and lane departure warning. The flagship Tigo 8 Pro allows you more control of the wheel. What's great is you can also join the green revolution with Cherry Tigo 8 Pro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or PHEV. So book a test drive now via www.cherryauto.ph or visit a Cherry dealership near you.
Thank you!
Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Subukan ang kanilang pinakabagong oven-roasted chicken na mas pinasarap dahil sa nag-uumapaw na flavorful chicken juice. Subukan niyo po ang harissa roast, sweet roast at pepper roast. Try also Chooks, the first dine-in restaurant of Chooks to Go. Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan.
Thank you!
True religion is in the Philippines, where passion meets power. Experience it firsthand. For your best style choices, visit True Religion at Conrad S. Maison, Mall of Asia Complex, Resorts World Manila, and Hacienda Designer Outlet Silang Cavite. Visit their newest branch at Grand Wing, Newport City, Resorts World Manila. True Religion, where passion meets power.
Thank you!
Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Mga kasundo, first booking nyo, use promo code JRMC Taxi to get 50% off on your first MC Taxi ride. Book Joyride MC Taxi for safe, affordable, quality, and fast rides. So ano pang hinihintay nyo? Download the JR Super App on Google Play Store and the App Store.
Thank you!
Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group, located at Unit 2, Ground Floor, Calle Bistre, Ever, Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Elms Seafood Paluto.
Thank you!
Skin, your face and body anti-aging center with branches at Alabang Town Center and Green Hill, San Juan. For your skin assessment and treatment schedule, call 0917-890-1640.
Thank you!
ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. ASEA Subic Beach Resort.
Thank you!
And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart.
Thank you!
Maraming salamat po. Siya nga pala, gusto ko rin magpasalamat sa Pradera Golf or Pradera Verde Golf and Country Club na nag-host po ng Batch 80 quarterly game, yung pong Battle of Pradera 2. Maraming salamat kay Shaira May Mendoza, kay GM Mike, and of course kay Assistant GM si Joey, and ang aming kasama sa F&B si Emily. Thank you so much to all, and of course congratulations to all of the winners of Battle of Pradera 2. Alright, at this point mga kaibigan, pinag-uusapan ng winner. Ito po yung ating susunod na makakapanayam ay tunay na winner. Siya po ang nagwagi ng kanyang kauna-unahang gintong medalya sa Southeast Asian Games sa gymnastics floor exercises. Ang ating po mga kasama ngayon, ang ating pinagmamalaking si John Ivan Cruz, gold medalist ng SEA Games. Magandang umaga, John. Maraming salamat sa pagsama sa atin. Good morning. Naku, unang-una, congratulations, John, sa pagkapanalo mo. Alam mo, nakita ko yung mga litrato. Very emotional ka nung nanalo ka. Ano ba naramdaman mo noon, panahon na yun?
Halo-halo po yung naramdaman ko noon eh. Sir, una po siyempre sobrang saya po kasi nakuha ko po yung main goal ko eh. Sa laban na yun eh. And sa mga suporta po ng mga yan po, sa mga teammates ko po, sila din po yung ginawa akong inspirasyon sa laban na po yun.
Ayun, nakikita natin ang litrato mo ngayon sa video. Talaga namang talagang balot ng galak. Of course, tears of joy. Yang ating nakikita yan at emosyon. Alam mo, napakaganda ng kwento mo dyan, yung nabasa ko. Kwento ng pagsisikap, kwento ng perseverance, ng hard work dyan, at talagang nakakatuwa ang nangyari sa'yo. Unang-una, umalis ka sa gymnastics at bumalik. Bakit? Kwento mo nga sa amin, bakit nangyari to?
Mga time na po yun, parang wala na po akong gana sa ginagawa ko po. Pag pumupunta po ako ng gym, wala na pong nangyayari.
Bakit? Mo?
Di ko din po alam kasi nung medyo bata pa po ako noon, yung isip ko wala pa po sa, alam niyo po yun.
Sino ang nagkumbinsi sa'yo na bumalik? Sino nagkumbinsi sa'yo bumalik?
Unang-una po yung pamilya ko po, syempre, yun kagad yung isip ko din po eh. Kasi hindi naman po habang buhay bata, gano'n. Tsaka, pamilya po talaga yung nagtulak sa akin para po bumalik ulit.
At sulit na ang pagbalik dyan dahil sa pagkapanalo mo.
Yun nga po eh. Last year po kasi nung dun ko din po nasabi na hindi pa din po uli lahat. Kasi yung pagkapasok ko po nun kagad sa national team, binigyan po kagad ako ng laban.
Oo.
Tuwa po ako na di pa din po talaga tapos yung laban ng buhay.
Talaga?
Ituloy ko na lang po.
Well, batang-bata ka pa naman, 21 years old, and of course, yung kauna-unahan mong Southeast Asian Games medal. Gaano ka katagal nag-train para dito, John?
Simula po ba ng pagkabata, sir?
Hindi, ito lang para sa SEA Games. Para sa SEA Games.
Mga 1.5 year po. Kasi bali, 1 taon na lang din po yung naging pagitan nung huli pong SEA Games.
Oo. At talaga bang floor exercise ang paborito mo, John?
Yes po, yun po talaga yung pinaka-special sa akin, yung floor. Talaga ako deduction, yung mga ganun po. Malinis po, tignan ganun.
Ano sa tingin mo naging susi sa pagkapanalo mo? Anong ginawa mo sa training? Anong tinutukan mo, finokus mo, nag-concentrate ka habang nagte-training ka para maging successful ka sa Cambodia?
Yung sa po, syempre, unang-una sa katawan po, dapat po yung katawan mo palaging nasa ayos. Yung mga kinakain mo din po, ganun. Sa training po talaga nakukuha lahat eh.
Alright. Well, alam natin na ubaya o umatras sa laban ang iyong pinsan na si Carlos Yulo na para ikaw ang lumaban dyan sa floor. At alam naman natin na kung si Carlos yan, sigurado dahil kampiyon ng mundo, si Carlos, pinahinahangaan nating lahat at sigurado na siya ang mananalo. Pero kahit ganun pa man, ikaw ang pinalaban niya. Unang-una, nasurpresa ka ba? O yan ba'y napag-usapan ninyo? Ano sinabi niya sa'yo? At bakit ikaw ang pinalaban niya?
Bago pa naman po kami pumunta, nasa plano po, nasa target po talaga yun na ako po yung lalaban sa floor. And then, na-pressure din po ako kasi parang nakasalalay po sa akin yung floor. Inisip ko din po nun, baka hindi ako mag-medal, ganito, paano? Parang din po ako na. Yun po. Tapos nagulat po ako na success ko din. Hindi ko sila binigo yung mga teammates ko po.
Ano sinabi si Nicoloy nung ikaw ay nanalo?
Tinanong niya lang din po ako na masaya daw ba ako, ganun. And then sobrang masaya din siya para sa akin po.
Gaano kahalaga sa iyo yan? Yung ikaw ang pinalaban ni Kaloy at hindi siya dahil may kumpiyansya sa iyo.
Sobrang halaga po nun para sa akin, sir eh. Kasi alam niyo po yun, parang binigyan niya ako ng chance na ipakita yung pinakatalento ko po. And then, sobrang saya ko din po, nabigay ko naman yun.
Alright, alam mo, maganda yung kwento mo sapagkat ikaw ay galing sa napaka-humble na pamilya. Of course, 7 kayo magkakapatid. Ikaw ang pinakapanganay. Unang-una, meron bang atleta sa pamilya mo kaya ikaw naging gymnastics athlete?
Wala po.
Ang papa mo, ang daddy mo, ang mami mo, nanay mo, naglaro ba?
Wala po, wala naman po. Ang sinasabi lang nila yung papa ko po dancer, ganun eh.
Dancer? Aba, oo.
Nahilig din po ako sa tumbling.
Importante yun sapagkat sa floor exercises, kailangan may rhythm ka talaga. Merong ang konting konting sayaw, may konting grace, no? Bakit ka nagka-interest sa gymnastics, John?
Una-una po kasi parang nailigan ko din po siya kasi. Parang
Saan ka ba nagsimula? Saan ka nagsimula mag-gymnastics?
Tatumbling lang po kami nun sa
Tumbling lang, ha? Saan?
Sa playground hanggang sa dinala po kami ng lolo ko sa Rizal Memorial nga po, Sports Complex.
Oh.
And
May nakakita sa'yo? May nakakita ba sa'yo? May nakadiscover?
may nakadiscover po sa amin. Actually, kasabay ko po si Kuya Kaloy talaga. Po kami nagsimula. And then, ayun po, natanggap naman kami hanggang sa minahal ko na yung gymnastics din po.
Meron ba susunod sa mga kapatid mo sa gymnastics? Meron bang nagkakahilig na?
Hindi ko pa po alam. Sir, wala pa po ang nakikita sa kanila.
Nabanggit mo na sa mga interview mo na ang inspirasyon mo ay yung pamilya. Anong nasabi sa iyo? Anong unang reaction ng mga kapatid mo at ang mga magulang mo nung ikaw ay nanalo?
Sobrang saya daw po nila lahat, ganun. Lalo po yung pamilya ko. Yung mama ko po, ganun. Kasi may araw nung labang ko, may dalawa pong kapatid na nag-birthday. Kaya ang ganda daw po ng regalo ko.
Wow!
Kaya po ako sumaya lalo.
Well, alam mo, ngayon na nakaranas ka na ng unang mong pagpanalo sa international competitions dyan. Ano ang masasabi mong kagandahan nitong experience na to at ano ang maidudulot ito sa buhay mo?
Sobrang laking tulong po na itong bagay na to po. Kasi po, yun nga po yung sinabi ko sa interview na kahit pa paano maiba ko yung buhay namin po. Kasi ayoko na po maranasan yung dating dinanas ko po eh.
Alright.
Ito po siya balikan.
Meron kang incentive na makukuha dahil sa pagkapanalo mo ng gold medal. Naisip mo na ba dyan kung anong saan mo gagamitin ito?
Yung sa pamilya ko po talaga para po sa ikakabuti ng pamilya ko po. And then, yung mga ibang sobra, ikikip ko lang po muna para sa future ko pag kanin. Yun po.
Alright. Anong mga plano mo ngayon, John, after the Southeast Asian Games? Meron ka pa bang lalabanan?
Meron po kaming upcoming competition next month po sa Singapore po, Asian Championships po.
Alright. Ikaw ba ay ngayon mas ganado na ipanatili ang winning form mo? Ngayon na ikaw ay gold medalist na?
Yes po. Kasi po, may kailangan ka na po i-depend sa sarili mo. May bagong mission para sa sarili mo.
Tama. That's a good attitude. Magandang attitude yan na ngayon, meron ka ng kailangan depensahan, meron ka na kailangan patunayan at i-maintain na standard. Sapagkat alam mong kaya mong manalo, so dapat patuloy kang mag-training at talaga magsumikap.
Yes,
ikaw ba handa isang araw, yan, may litrato tayo, nakikita natin si Kaloy. Handa ka ba isang araw na makaharap ang iyong Kuya Kaloy na one-on-one sa floor exercise?
Yes po, syempre malaking bagay po yun yung magkakalaban po kami. Kasi po dati ganun na kami dalawa eh. Yung feeling ko po parang natural na po sa amin pag naglalabang kami ni Kuya Kaloy.
Nakakatuwa. Nakakatuwa yan. That's the friendly spirit and syempre tinutulak nyo ang bawat isa na lalo pang gumaling. Alright, bago tayo magtapos, meron ka bang gustong pasalamatan sa iyong pagkapanalo, John?
Papasalamat po ako syempre unang-una po sa Panginoon. Wala po siyang pinabayaan sa amin dyan. Tsaka sa binigay po niyang talento sa akin, sa amin ng mga kasama ko po. Then, yung mga tumulong po sa amin dyan sa Cambodia. Tsaka po yung coaches, mga coach ko po. Tsaka yung mga GAP office po. Shout out sa inyo.
Of course. Si Ma'am Cynthia and of course the rest of the team. John, congratulations sa naging tagumpay mo sa Cambodia. I'm sure marami ka pang maabot. patuloy ka lamang na umasa sa Panginoon and of course, patuloy ang pagtitraining. Congratulations at mabuhay ka, John Ivan Cruz. Mga kaibigan ng ating Southeast Asian Games gold medalist sa gymnastics ng floor exercise. Kinikilabutan ako pag nakakausap ko yung mga ganyang klaseng storya. Yung pong nagbibigay ng inspirasyon sa ating lahat. Galing sa hirap, trabaho, at yan po, nagbunga ng isang medalyang ginto, karangalan, hindi lamang para sa bansa, kung hindi para sa kanyang pamilya. Congratulations ulit kay John Ivan Cruz. Alright, at this point, we're talking about the Southeast Asian Games. I-segue na po natin, tuloy-tuloy na tayo. Kamustahin natin ang ating Team Philippines dyan sa 32nd Southeast Asian Games. We have on the line right now, walang iba, kung hindi ang ating One Sports correspondent, Paulo Del Rosario. Good morning, Pao. Thank you for joining us. Quickly, what is the latest? What is the latest on our medal winners and the current tally of the Philippines, Pao?
Sixth place tayo ngayon sa medal tally. 31 gold medals so far ang Pilipinas. And of course, lahat ng mga gold medalists natin, grabe, sobrang saya nila. It's always great interviewing them right after yung mga events nila. And hopefully, we'll get a few more in the next few days kasi grabe, yung mga pet events na natin are up next in terms of yung mga gold medal matches na gold medal events. Kaya sana arangkada tayo in terms of yung medal tally natin. And obviously, yung goal natin is to reach around 4th place, 5th place yung Hanoi ranking natin in 2021. But of course, here in Cambodia, there is still hope na makaka-4th tayo or at least 5th place matching yung record natin dati.
Magandang balita yan that at least there is a lot of hope from our sports officials na maaabot pa natin ng 4th place because after that hot start last week, we're about 1 week from the start, and last week you were really doing very well, and of course the Philippines is now in 6th place. Anong mood ng Team Philippines, Pao, moving forward? Lalong-lalo na we know that we have 9 boxers in the finals. We have the volleyball team in the medal rounds, and of course our track and field athletes, our gymnasts are still there, and of course all our martial artists. Anong mood ng Team Philippines, Pao?
Well, medyo hopeful as a whole yung Team Pilipinas in terms of trying to get even a better ranking sa medal tally natin. Pero syempre, if you look at it from individual teams, some might feel differently based on sa mga nangyari. But then, you're absolutely right, for example, sa tennis, sa mixed doubles, may gold medal match po tayo soon. Boxing, you mentioned the 9 gold medalists, potential gold medalists that's about to see action. Tapos may arnis pa tayo. And sana kakakot din tayo ng mga gold doon. In fact, arnis is supposed to be one of the sports that we're feeling that, okay, maybe we can get double-digit gold figures there sa sports na yun. And kaya hopeful yung entire delegation that by the end of the next few days, if there is a big gap right now between the 4th place and kung saan tayo ngayon sa 6th, it might come a lot closer in the next 2 days.
All right. Well, one of the things na pinag-uusapan dito sa ating bansa, and of course, obviously, in Team Philippines is yung nakadagdag pang challenges o hamon sa ating mga atleta, which includes, of course, the naturalization rule na parang inabuso dyan sa Cambodia, and of course yung playing conditions of some of the venues, lalong-lalo na yung basketball court na ang ginamit ay not up to international standards. Ang una kong tanong, Pao, what have you gathered there? Ito ba ay alam ng ating mga officials dyan, and what was done prior to the games na para naman maprotektahan ang ating mga atleta?
Alam mo naman, na hindi sikreto na yung rule for the eligibility of players, nung January pa yung pinag-usapan. So the only rule needed is passport. Pero yung listahan ng mga teams, lumalabas lang a few days or the day of the competition sa mga technical meeting, yung mga delegation meeting. So in terms of scouting, it's almost impossible to scout specific players. Kasi ang dami mo na pwedeng i-naturalize na, nalalaman lang nila that are part of the group as it happens. And of course, yung playing conditions, na-mention mo kanina, I can only say this. Alam ko na kung ano yung feeling maging pandesal. Kasi parang nasa pugon ako palagi. You take a look at the entire delegation, the one thing you're gonna hear from each and every one, na grabe yung init talaga dito.
Wow.
In terms of yung standard ng mga court and playing venues, basketball is an example that we use a lot kasi syempre, yan, nakita talaga natin. But then I was actually talking to EJ Obiena right before the competition na yung box kung saan niya nilalagay yung pole for the pole vault is a few centimeters off, and napaka-importante yan sa pole vaulting. So kahit sa mga ibang sports may mga substandard venues or court issues. Pero sinasabi nga ni EJ, as well as our other athletes, all the athletes have to deal with the same exact conditions. So even if the conditions are substandard for certain sports, the playing field is still relatively even. Will that mean we get the best out of the players? That is a whole different conversation.
Of course, ang pinag-usapan naman dito yung playing venue, everyone plays there. It's just really I guess a matter of adjustment. And before I let you go, of course, ang interest ng mga tao ay ang basketball at ang volleyball competitions. What is the mood with Gilas Pilipinas as well as our Philippine women's volleyball team, Pao?
Pom, I've never seen Gilas Pilipinas this fired up to play another team again. Kasi yung nangyari against Cambodia, especially towards the end game, it's a matter of respect for the players and of course from the coaching staff. I'm sure if you ask anyone in the coaching staff, they would want to play Cambodia again, and there's a potential for that. Hopefully it's a gold medal match. I know it's a hump on the road, pero sa totoo lang, Pom, if you meet them in the gold medal match again at tinalo ninyo sa home venue nila, grabe yung kwento, grabe yung storya. It's I wouldn't say it's movie-like, but it would be a great revenge flick. So let's see whether or not mangyayari yan para sa Gilas Pilipinas, but there's a lot of hope for that. Sa volleyball naman po, we know that we're up against it against Thailand tonight later on, and let's be fair, kung nanalo tayo sa Thailand, medyo himala po yan. But if we can show a fight and show progression in terms of yung volleyball, there's a hope that we can get their first podium finish in 2005. And it was so long ago, kung teenager pa ako noon. 15 years old po ako in 2005. And I'm a lot older today. So you take a look at the hopes for volleyball po. It's still sky high, and they're hoping that someone like Eliza Valdez, who hasn't been healthy in the past, finally used in the last game, can finally see more action and hopefully can lead Team Pilipinas to a podium finish sa volleyball po.
That is the beauty of sports. Hindi natin alam kung ano mang mangyayari. And of course, yung when you start poking the bear, well, dito sa Pilipinas, pagka tinapakan mo yung buntot ng aso, mangangagat yan. Kaya sana nga ganun nangyari sa Gilas Pilipinas. Pao Del Rosario, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us an update on the Southeast Asian Games. Mabuhay ka!
Salamat po.
Kaibigan, Paulo Del Rosario from One Sports, again, giving us an update on the 32nd Southeast Asian Games. Alright, bago tayo magpatuloy, balikan muna natin ang best moments naman sa kasaysayan ng palakasan this week in sports history.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
May 11, 2016 o 7 years ago, hinirang bilang kauna-unahang unanimous MVP ng NBA si Stephen Curry. Nakuha ni Curry ang record at ikalawa niyang MVP plum matapos makakuha ng 131 votes. May averages na 30.1 points, 6.7 assists at pumukol ng 402 3-point shots ang babyface assassin noong 2016 season. Ito rin ang taon na nabasag ng Warriors ang regular season record sa likod ng 73 wins at 9 losses. Stephen Curry becomes first and still the only NBA unanimous MVP this week in sports history. Wow, I remember that particular year. And of course, the Warriors will be playing today. Mamaya-maya po yung laban sa Los Angeles Lakers trying to save their season. And talking about saving their season, ito po ang susunod nating guest trying to save the Redeem Team. Ang ating pong ilalagay sa In the Spotlight.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Gilas Pilipinas ay nagtatangkang maibalik ang gintong medalya sa Pilipinas sa basketball. At kaya po malaki ang atensyon na ibinibigay ng ating mga tao sa paglalaro ng ating pambansang koponan. Mapalad po tayo ngayon na makakasama natin para bigyan naman tayo ng konting update tungkol sa Gilas Pilipinas live mula po sa Cambodia. Walang iba kundi ang Team Manager ng Gilas Pilipinas at Deputy Executive Director ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas. Walang iba kundi si Mr. Butch Antonio. Magandang umaga, Sir Butch. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Com. Good morning, Kamish. It's good to be back in your show. And hello from Cambodia.
Alam ko na busy ka dyan. Sana hindi masyadong maanghang ang mga kinakain mo at masyadong mainit ang panahon dyan sa Cambodia. First of all, Butch, of course, we know that we're coming off a loss laban sa Cambodia. Very sorry and tough loss. But ano ang moral ng team sa kasalukuyan, Manager Butch? And of course, ano ang sinabi ni Coach Chot sa team?
Well, of course, it was a bitter loss last 2 nights ago against Cambodia. Pero the team has been meeting. Kahapon nga, we had an hour and a half talking about things, no? Review the game and looking forward to the game today, and also the possible meeting versus either Indonesia or Thailand in the semis, no? And I think yung players naman are very much up to the challenge. Tama nga yung sinabi ni Pao kanina. The players are eager to get back on the court right away and continue this quest. Hindi pa naman tapos yung ating journey towards that gold, getting that gold back, and they can't wait to get back. And then sila Coach Chot naman, together with the rest of the coaching staff, sila Coach Tim, have been putting their heads together and trying to find out how it's best to prepare and then come up with a game plan for the team and the rest of the tournament.
Napabalitaan namin, DED Butch, na talagang pambihira ang hinaharap ninyo mga hamon dyan sa Phnom Penh, mula sa practice venue to the pagkuha ng mga buses. Can you just tell us and tell the fans ng Gilas, ano ba pinagdadaanan nyo dyan? Kung bakit parang pinagkakaisahan pa tayo dyan? Ano ba nangyayari dyan, Butch?
I think yung hindi lang sa basketball ito, but I think there are a lot of substandard equipment or facilities that are made available to all the athletes, no? Tayo sa basketball, ang practice venue, nung tinatanong namin kung saan, nung lahat ng mga teams, ang tinuro sa amin is an outdoor
outdoor court.
Outdoor court na hindi I think it's even cemented. Hindi na namin tinignan nung tinuro yung outdoor facilities. Hindi na. So we had to look for our own, our own gym. It's still not a wooden court, but we have to get things. We still have to practice. So we had to bite that bullet, no? And yung rim nga namin doon sa mas mababa sa standard rin. So yung rim ng practice facility. Still, nakakatakbo ang mabuti doon, nakakatakbo at nakakapag-practice, mag-execute man lang, no? Offense and defensive strategies.
I understand even of course, marami nang naisulat tungkol sa competition venue, yung linoleum floor, kung gaano kadulas at minsan natutuklap. Unang-una, Butch, hindi nyo ba alam to? Was this not inspected by the, I guess by the delegation, or you were not told by the chef de mission? Alam nyo ba na ganyan ang magiging conditions of the playing venue?
Not to that extent, no? Kasi sinasabi, we are in touch as a federation. We're in touch with the Cambodian Federation, and sinasabi nga that time that they were still fixing the venue and it will be ready in time for the Southeast Asian Games. As to what and how ready it will be, it was not really put in detail. Pero syempre naman, kasi tayo naman, Commish, meron naman tayong hinahabol na standard. Even when we host, we try to, yung bare minimum natin is not even close to what we have here, no? And nung nagtanong ako, tinanong nga namin, is the venue air conditioned? Ang sinabi, they'll put makeshift or Hindi makeshift, yung
Temporary.
portable air conditioning.
Okay.
Yeah. They put 25 units nung upright
electric fans.
Upright aircon doon sa stand sa taas.
Okay. Oo.
I don't think it's not enough.
It's not enough. Sa laki at saka sa init.
Para ka talagang pugon doon sa loob ng venue.
Wow. Sabi nga ni Pao, para daw siyang pandesal Kaya yan na niluluto sa loob ng pugon. Kamusta? Because of that, syempre, pinapawisan, dumudulas ang court, and of course, as a quicker team, sabi nga ni Coach Sot, we need that quickness. We need that kind of court. Kamusta ang injuries natin, Manager Butch? How is Calvin Oftana?
Calvin Oftana suffered a calf injury in the calf. No? So we're trying to see if he can still make it to the playoffs. Pero we doubt it. But sila Doc Randy Molo and Dexter Aceron are working on him continuously. But we'll see. We'll see. And then as far as the coping with the heat, ang ginagawa na lang natin, yung ating cooler, punong-puno ng ice bag, no? Yung mga yelo na nilalagay. So that during breaks, we put ice on the players para ma-cool down sila ng konti. And sa pagdating naman sa floor, alam nyo naman, pag yung mga linoleum floors, konting basa lang, sobrang parang skating rink na yan. So even our utility is alert, no? We asked permission from the technical table and the referees na napayagan tayo paminsan-minsan to help in
wiping the floor.
Kasi mahirap na yung kanilang map, mga kasinlaki lang ng isang box of tissues.
Talagang hindi matutuyo, ano?
Mas makakalat lang yung basa So,
okay. Oo.
Nagdadala na tayo ng tuwalya para outright absorb kagad ng
tubig. Kamusta si Justin Brownlee, Manager Butch? Kamusta siya ngayon?
Si Justin is up now. He's up and about. He had dehydration issues nung last game. He was really drained. But ang ano nga namin is let's not lose faith in Justin. No? Justin is still Justin Brownlee, and nakita naman natin nung nag-pick up siya ng konti, nung nakapag-pick up siya nung second half of the game against Cambodia, that he was already getting his bearings. Yesterday we did not practice, we just had meetings so that may konting recovery ang ating mga manlalaro. And they had a recovery session sa pool dito kahapon para to get their bodies back and to try and see. Ayun nga, we do all the things just to cope with what we call the challenges here. No? And I think all teams and all the other sports natin ganun ang ginagawa na given the conditions. Lahat naman nga dumadaan doon. It's just a matter of, I guess, how we get to adapt and be ready for the conditions that we are beset with.
All right. I want to ask you, of course, the Manager Butch and the Deputy Executive Director Butch about the naturalization rule. No, alam natin na sabi nga nila this was already known as early as January. Did the SBP know about this rule, and ito ba'y tinutulan natin na pagkarami-rami ang pwedeng ipasok at isaksak na mga teams kalaban natin dito sa SEA Games?
We knew that sa SEA Games kasi it's very unique, no? And then even in the Asian Games that minsan passport lang, if you have a passport you're good to go, and it does not follow the eligibility rules of FIBA or the IFs of the different sports. And tayo alam natin, pero yun na nga, yung mga abuso is something that we did not expect, no? Tayo, we have our own naturalized player, and the rest naman ng ating mga malalaro, I would, if it's the right term, they are heritage players, no? They have Filipino blood. So hindi siya outright ganun na puro banyaga dun sa...
Naisip ba ng SBP na kung ganyan pala ang labanan, dagdagan na rin natin ang naturalize natin? Isama na natin, pagsamahin na rin si Ange at imbitahan si kung sino man, ang mga additional PhilAmps na otherwise ineligible sa FIBA but can play in the SEA Games?
We were actually thinking, si Ange nga was really part of the equation. It's just that si Ange is going through rehab for his knee.
Okay.
And hindi na nga natin masali. There was a procedure done to him nung start nung March. And ang kanyang recovery is tuloy-tuloy up to now. No? So we didn't want to jeopardize the recovery of his knees. No? And yung sa iba naman, yung iba naman nating option, I think, came from what is available also in the PBA. And natamaan na rin tayo na a couple of injuries. You know, si Pugori had that wrist or that hand fracture. So, but I think, you know, that notwithstanding, with the given conditions, the team is still hopeful and nandun pa rin tayo. We are not losing hope. As a matter of fact, we're trying to yung gigil kailangan i-contain ng konti, no? It's good to have that, but maganda rin gamitin as a driving force or a tool to get the team going.
Well, you know, alam natin Manager Butch na this is supposed to be a year na gusto nating bawiin ang ginto na nawala sa atin in Hanoi. And, you know, that's why this team has been dubbed as a redeemed team. Is there concern in the camp na, you know, ang competition this year ay mas malakas at maaaring madiskaril ang ating mga plano? Is there concern about that considering that the rules have been tweaked in such a way na parang talagang kontra sa atin?
Of course, may concern sa atin, ano? May concern tayo dun sa mga adjustments na ginawa ng mga ibang punan. Pero sabi nga, it is all in our hands naman also on how we play. Sabi nga ng mga coaches, you know, we just had a few if we made those layups, then malas na ng konti. We would be right in the game against Cambodia, no? Madami rin tayong mga missed.
So in other words, talagang it was really also a problem with our team, and I guess everyone accepts that. Kasi when you look at that Cambodia team, hindi naman parang caliber ng mga international teams na nakakalaban sa FIBA yan, but nonetheless, you know, they're a decent team, and obviously we still have to play so well. Pumasok ba, may mga nagtatanong na fans na dahil delikado daw yung mga conditions of play, pumasok ba sa isip nyo na umatras na lang?
Hindi naman namin iniisip yun. No? We tried to keep on talking to the officials, no? To the Cambodia, specifically yung Cambodian counterparts natin, yung Cambodian Federation, to see how we can improve. Tinutulungan na nga namin, sinasuggest namin, ganito. Pero yung linoleum floor kinda got us, medyo nagulat kami doon. Kasi noong una, nakapatong lang doon yung when the tournament started, it was the 3x3 tournament. So nakapatong nung una was the 3x3 flooring, which was okay. It was a very it was the standard, it was the norm, and it was good. Nakapatong siya. So iniisip lang namin noong una, baka nasa ilalim nun kahoy. Diba? Hindi nakikita And at the same time, may nararamdaman kang parang kahoy na we were hoping that that was the case. But lo and behold, the next day, after naligpit at itabi na yung flooring ng 3x3, yun na yung nakita namin.
well,
everybody, all contingents, all teams really raised that issue. No? And wala tayong maano eh. We cannot just back naman from that kind of competition.
Well, as I say, everyone's playing on the same floor. So I guess at the end of the day, talagang we just have to play our best. And, as expected, talagang malaki ang pressure sa Gilas, Pilipinas. But sanay na naman ang basketball team sa ganyan. Sir Butch, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know you have a lot of work to do. And I wish you all the best. I wish all the team the best. And we're still pulling for the team. Sana nga ay tayo maka-adjust kagad and we still come up with our best performance for the last. We save the best for the last. Thank you so much, Butch.
Thank you, Kumish. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yan po mga kaibigan, ang team manager ng Gilas Pilipinas and the Deputy Executive Director ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, SBP, si Mr. Butch Antonio, giving us an update on the status of our national team sa basketball. Alam niyo po, marami pa tayong, of course, dapat na tutukan, mga ipagbunyi na mga nanalo. Of course, the fencing, si Agatha Wong, si Christina Not, yung mga taekwondo natin po mga kapatid na nanalo, yung 4x4 men's team natin. Naku, napakarami po ha. Wag lang po basketball. Alam natin mahalaga yan. But at the end of the day, Pilipinas ang nakataya. Ang importante, ibigay ang lahat. No matter what the rules are, no matter kung ano pong nakastack up against us, ang importante, laban Pilipinas sapagkat ang karangalan ng bansa ang nakataya. Isa lang ang akin ha, katukin natin yung ating mga sports officials. They should have known this and I think they should be made accountable for this. Kung ano man po ang pagkukulang, huwag isisi sa atleta, dapat po alisin ang politika sa sports at ayusin ng mga opisyalis natin ang pagpapatakbo, paghahanda. Anong ginawa na yun? Namasyal lang po. Huwag naman sana sapagkat ang atleta natin ang mapapahamak. Alright, as we end this show, gusto ko lang pong basahin ang mga nanalo sa ating Joyride Top Up promo ngayong araw pong ito. Ang mga nanalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App ay sina Nina de la Cruz, Samuel Chua, Alicia Amorganda, John Michael Coral at si Mary Joy Cabonitalia. Congratulations sa inyong lahat for joining our Joyride Super App Top Up promo. Doon naman sa mga nagpadala ng kanilang mga kuro-kuro sa Pulso ng Bayan mga kapatid. Ang dami po medyo naubusan na tayo ng oras. We will just keep this and of course yung mga komentaryo nyo po ay always welcome. Well, mga kaibigan, again, we wish everyone all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day sa inyong lahat. Enjoy the weekend. Lagi nating sinasabi tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit at sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH Teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Susunod na po ang inay ko po. Happy Sports Weekend, mga kapatid! More power, more play.
Kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipag-iwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Aniga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa.